Hi, it's Misha again, and this time I'm talking about my learning styles. We took the learning type test, the format test, in class, and I ended up being a type 1 learner. As you can see on my graph, it's kind of hard to see, but there you go. I am most in this quadrant, number 1, the circle, and then the least amount in number 3, which is the opposite. A type 1 learner is basically a people person, and I would definitely consider myself that. Friendly, outgoing, thoughtful, really tuned into emotions, and generally an emotional person. I think a lot of the reason I am so strongly a type 1 learner is because of going to Friends School. We focus a lot there on people, how they feel, and asking questions, and especially with Consensus being a Quaker school. And that used to drive me crazy when I first went there, and the learning style I really had to get used to. But going to that school for 7 years, it really trained me to think that way. For example, the type 1 learning style likes to ask the question, why? Now, I would normally not think of myself as being the type of person that always wants to know why something's one way. I remember when I first got to Friends, I always said, I just want to know what to do, how to do it, done, move on. Like, don't go into all this, well, why do you think it's this way? But coming out of that school now, I realize when I do my homework and in my classes that really has influenced me. Also, like I said before, with Consensus, it was actually one of the answers on the test that really jumped out on me, because we strive so much for making sure the whole community is happy and making sure everyone has a say, which is stereotypical type 1. I like the test. I thought it was very interesting. I thought in general it really focused in on who I am as a learner and my personality. I think as a teacher standpoint, it's great, and I would love to give this to my students when I have my own classroom, because I think it's really important to figure out how best to interact with a student and how you're going to get the most out of them in the classroom and how they're going to get the most out of you for learning. And I think it's great to see, like, if you're having trouble with a kid, maybe there's a reason why. Maybe they're a 1 and you're a 3 or something, and it just doesn't match up. Because I know I've had teachers before where we just keep butting heads, and we both get really frustrated because I know I'm not doing the best, and I get really frustrated because I don't know why I'm not learning, and they get really frustrated because I'm not giving my best as a student. And after taking this test, I can see that a lot of it's probably how we both perceive the information and how we feel we get the information the best. Some of the traits of a type 1 learner that I really think stand out in my personality are, first of all, that they want to feel accepted by people and they want to be loved, really. And I think I struggle with that when it comes to needing to get help or not understanding something, because as Professor Abrahams pointed out in class, it's not that I'm a perfectionist. It really means that I'm afraid that if I admit I don't understand something, then other people won't like me, if it's students or friends or the teacher. And that's actually something I've really been struggling with, and so I thought it was interesting that it was a trait of type 1 learners. Also, the big one for type 1 learners is that they avoid conflict. And I already talked about Consensus and how that's the total opposite of conflict, but I really noticed that in my personal life when it comes to friends. I try to let things slide. I'm not going to be really hard on someone unless something really bothers me. But I do agree that we are human beings and we can't put ourselves in one group and then rely on our learning style to say, well, you know, I'm a type 1, so I can't do that. No, we're humans. We all are all 4 types. We just tend to lean towards one side or the other.